Do you know what's worse than spending a week making a video just to have it blocked 4 separate times for copyright claims? People who are such big fans of their favorite YouTubers that they will never leave their side, even when it is so blatantly obvious that they messed up. You see this a lot with YouTubers like Jake Paul and Logan Paul, Nelk, and even the Ace family, where seemingly nothing they do is problematic enough for them to lose any fans. If anything, it makes them gain some fans. It seems like influencers like this have made a name for themselves for essentially doing the wrong thing all the time, which gives them this invisible pass to let them do pretty much anything and just rise in popularity. We'll attack comedians like Kevin Hart, who makes obvious jokes talking about what he would do if his son was gay, but will allow somebody like Wendy Williams to continue to have a TV show despite her being pretty much the worst person to be born. We'll completely ruin somebody like Justin Bieber's childhood, saying that he's a completely horrible influence for young kids, but then we'll allow somebody like Nelk to have a platform. But what do you do when the creator under the microscope is no longer somebody clear-cut like Jake Paul? No one easy to hate like Bryce Hall. But instead, it's somebody labeled as the nicest creator on the platform. A creator who's been in Forbes magazine. A creator who gives back to the community. Creator so good that seemingly nobody has anything bad to say about them. Until February 6, 2021. A creator like David Dobrick. Now, for those who don't know, Big Nick was a former member of the Vlog Squad. And for those who don't know the Vlog Squad was pretty much a hand-picked group of different personalities that would pretty much do anything and everything to make their vlogs as entertaining as possible. But for this video, the only 2 names we really have to remember is David Dobrick and his sidekick, Jason Nash. Big Nick voluntarily went on an interview with H3. In this interview, he shares that the environment of the Vlog Squad felt like a cult. He said it had extremely hostile energy.
Okay, like, you know, we can disrespect Big Nick too. Like, it's because our master does it. It just felt like a huge cult of just bad energy, and I didn't want any part of it.
This interview was relatively minor in terms of any accusations towards David Dobrick, but this was the first interview to highlight acting out of your comfort zone in order to get better treatment from this group. And like I said, this is just a spark to ignite the soon fire of different accusations that goes against David Dobrick. Now, I have to admit, I'm pretty biased in this argument. I've been watching H3H3 for years, and I'm a huge fan. So of course, I'm getting all of my information from somebody who's extremely anti-David Dobrick right now. But that does not change what Seth says. About 4 days after Big Nick's interview, Seth, another former Vlog Squad member, comes out of the woodwork to talk about a past video he filmed with David Dobrick that still haunts him to this day. Now, I can't show the video because David Dobrick is doing everything and anything to make sure this video doesn't resurface, but I'll describe it to you. David likes to do a lot of small different pranks in his vlogs, and in one of his videos, he has a friend named Karina. Dresses her up in a Halloween type costume so you cannot see her face. He tells his friend Seth that he's going to be making out with Karina for the video. But what Seth doesn't know is he's actually planning on switching out Karina for Jason Nash. And he's really going to be making out with a dude. David takes Karina into the bathroom, does the switch, and brings out Jason Nash. Obviously, this was not okay with Seth.
And everything seemed normal, and he was just like, yeah, you know, like, we just have this scene, you know, like, I want you to, like, make out with Karina, and be cool with that. And I was just like, yeah, no, I'm fine with making out with Karina. Like, you know, during the video, we kind of start the make out, starts going, and then it's going on for a decent period of time. And after Jason pulls off his mask, and I realized that, you know, I just was touched by someone did not, you know, consent to having their tongue. And I'm sorry, it is a little bit hard to kind of like talk about this because like
what really made me happy.
What?
Today we pulled a prank on my friend Seth, girl in my vlogs, and he's like, he thinks Karina's really attractive. So
Karina's kind of like the hot girl in David's vlogs.
Yeah, so don't hold back. You can make out as much as you want, have as much tongue as you want. Just keep kissing her. But what Seth didn't know is that I replaced Karina with Jason.
On Seth's knee, and I put my hand behind his back and start rubbing his back and squeezing his knee, and then he
just leans in and just goes at it.
I slip him the tongue first.
Like with tongue, they start making out. And at this point, we're like 5 seconds in, and I'm like, this is it. This is what I wanted. I got what I wanted. I'm out. Like, we can rating. It's in the vlog. 25 seconds making out with this guy. And I'm like, I literally, I think I looked up to the ceiling and I'm like, God, what did I do to deserve such beauty?
And I'm sitting there going.
This eventually caused Seth to move back home. And overall, this has affected Seth for years. This podcast with Seth and H3 was filmed on the 13th. It took over a month for us to get a response, and it wasn't even from David Dobrick. It was from one of his best friends named Scotty Sear. I personally have never heard of Scotty up until this video. But before I talk about him, I want to say one thing. Whenever we meet somebody who has this undying belief that something is real, that we all know deep down is not real, it's very tough to argue with somebody who believes like this. A good example of this is people who think the earth is flat. There's no amount of reason that you can give to somebody who believes this to explain to them that the earth is not flat. And this is because they hold their personality so close to the thing that they believe that you questioning them is actually questioning their whole entire personality. This causes your brain to immediately not accept this information. You may even get irrational and angry at the person trying to change your mind. But Scotty doesn't think the earth is flat. That's not what I'm saying. Scotty is doing what I call the Ellen DeGeneres excuse. Do you guys remember when Ellen DeGeneres was getting accused of being a horrible person and she almost got her show taken away?
It's Ellen DeGeneres delivering a message we can all agree with.
Ellen DeGeneres' show is facing new allegations this morning of rampant sexual misconduct and harassment in the workplace.
And every celebrity was coming out making tweets saying, well, in my personal experience, Ellen's been super nice to me. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Which inherently has nothing to do with the accusations. We understand she's being nice to other celebrities. The accusations was that she treats her employees bad. So Scotty making a video talking about how nice David Dobrick is has literally absolutely nothing to do with what happened to Seth. Person going to do when you not only question their whole entire personality, but a large source of their income. As much as David Dobrick might not be inherently paying Scotty right now, David Dobrick is a massive connection. So there is a very large incentive to make sure that he proves his loyalty to David. Because having an enemy like David could have a huge effect on his career. Whatever he says in his argument isn't going to be valid. Because not only is this one of your friends, this is your employer.
Mistakes is to learn and grow from those mistakes. That being said, telling a lie is a mistake itself, and there's been a lot of that going around. First of all,
Scotty, it is not your job to defend David Dobrick. Not only were you not even involved in this situation, you weren't even there. David is one of the most meaningful people in your life, which automatically is a conflict of interest. And your personal relationship with David Dobrick has absolutely nothing to do with what happened to Seth.
the mean bone in his body. He's so nice. When someone does something that really upsets him, he gets disappointed instead of angry and be like, why'd you do that? That's not cool, dude. And
You saying that David isn't the type of person to get angry doesn't negate the fact that Seth says that that made him extremely uncomfortable.
I'm personally not comfortable with, and
You can tell that Scotty feels like this is a personal attack on himself because he uses the word we a lot, despite this having literally nothing to do with him. So what does the media do when they not only have to prove their victim wrong, but discredit them? Make it seem like not only is the accusation nonsense, but it's completely untrue.
don't call it sharing your truth if you're sharing a lie.
Bring things up from their past, subtly accuse them of lying.
He was pranked, it was all in good fun, and he gave permission beforehand. He gave David props on getting him with that prank a second time. Someone
Make it seem like your victim is a bad person, somebody nobody can trust.
posted revenge porn of our friend Erin. Do you know how that's affected her? Totally immoral and so fucked up. Did you get her consent?
Making the audience believe that not only is he lying, and you aren't bad guys, but you guys are actually the good guys, and he's the bad guy. Make sure you use your own personal experiences with somebody in the accusation.
Would go and film this bit if Seth had said no? No, there's no way in hell.
Do you know what most family members say after somebody they love has been accused of a crime? Oh no, that's not my son. He wouldn't do something like that. That's pretty much a died down version of what you're saying. Just because David Dobrick doesn't lash out at you doesn't mean he can't mess up. And you do realize by not taking responsibility, you guys have made this situation so much worse. The next thing you have to do if you want to discredit your victim is pull up some out of context clips to fit your narrative.
David asked him.
Not too long after that, I had an idea to pull the prank on him again, so I thought it would be fun to blatantly ask him for consent.
Do I have permission to try to prank you again and get you to make out with Jason?
I'm very confused by that, because how the hell could you be so confident to tell me that I have to consent to something that I'm not going to know that I'm going to do?
Now, I'm sure if you saw this part of the video, you would think it's case closed. He's lying. This is not the first one. He did not get consent for that. They are trying to say that he asked for a second one, therefore meaning that he couldn't have been that upset for the first one. And he even says in the video, how am I supposed to consent when I don't even know what's about to happen? I don't know about you, but that's not consent.
When he was editing that clip, there was a clip in there of Seth agreeing and giving his permission to film this bit again. He was like, there's no way you're going to get it on me again. There's no way you're going to get me again. So go ahead, go for it.
He says there's a clip, even though he doesn't play it. I guess this is case closed. I guess we just got to take his word for it because Scotty's been pretty truthful with us so far. And I don't think people understand the difference of how people are going to act when you have a camera shoved in your face. I don't think people realize that this is their sole job to entertain. If they don't do that, they don't get on camera and they don't get paid. So shoving a camera in somebody's face asking them to do something they might be uncomfortable with and somewhat insinuating that if they don't, they're not going to be in your video, therefore not making money, that is still not consent. It's called peer pressure. I'm sure we've heard of that before. And what happens if you choose not to do these videos? Well, then your time's up.
Come and go from them from time to time. The person grew apart, their career path changed, they didn't want to be in the videos anymore, and sometimes it's because they did something that wasn't cool.
Next, try to destroy your victim's overall character. Say that they brought it on themselves by doing things like this.
I happen to like Seth's behind.
Everybody's fucking around with each other here. We're all friends, and like, we do dumb shit.
Yes. Showing your bare ass to another man is the exact same as making out with one. The fact that he thinks seeing another man's ass is the exact same as making out with one is genuinely hilarious. Now when you notice your victim is starting to act a little weird, try to distance yourself from them, forcing them to comply because they're afraid of losing their job.
Another kissing sketch. I said, haha, what do you mean? He goes, lol, I don't really care as long as you clout me up. I'm not gay, just don't care. And then he sends me this.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. It's not really a big deal. It's the same shit. Just, I don't know, more open-minded.
Yes, now that he says that he's coming around and he's more open-minded, which just proves he wasn't open-minded in the first place. Also, notice how Seth says, clout me up.
Clout me up.
If this doesn't prove the overall desperation of each member in this group trying so hard to cling on to relevancy, then I don't know what does. He is so eager to make sure he still has a job and stays relevant, he would be willing to do something that he does not want to do to this level. Now, the next thing you want to do to your victim is kind of scenario-based. But if you have financial dominance over your victim, make sure to threaten them with a lawsuit, because they're the ones that's wrong.
The magnitude of the lies you've been spreading are unforgivable, and you should face repercussions.
Now bring up something completely unrelated that your victim did in the past to make him seem that much more unlikable.
Years later, you post our friend's naked body on the internet. It's revenge porn. It's illegal. It's fucked up. You suck.
Now, from the research I have done, I can't seem to find the video they're talking about that Seth uploaded, but from what I heard, Seth uploaded a video of his girlfriend saying a word she should not have said, and in the video, she did not have her clothes on. Some sources say that he didn't blur the image, and some people say that he did blur the image and they wanted it blacked out completely, but I can't confirm or deny he did this, but overall, this point has nothing to do with the argument and shouldn't have even been brought up in the first place. This is what we call a straw man. This is when you bring up something completely unrelated to an argument, hoping it distracts people from the real argument. So if he was able to prove this point, that it would discredit him from the rest of the other points that he made. But if you're smart enough to realize what he's doing, you'll realize that this has absolutely nothing to do with the accusations toward David. Overall, with what could have been like a 10-minute discussion between the two, turned into absolute chaos because David knows his fan base and his friends. He knows that if he doesn't want to admit something he did wrong, then he doesn't have to. He is not the only influencer who knows this, because when you get famous beyond belief for the absolute bare minimum, the expectations drop drastically for what you're supposed to be doing. You don't have to be politically correct like Kevin Hart. You can say whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. Because if nothing is what made you this famous, then nothing can take it away. Alright, listen. If somehow this video runs into some David Dobrick stans, hear me out. This is all I ask for when I meet a stan of any celebrity. Take yourself out of the euphoria that you feel when you see that celebrity for like 10 seconds. Put the same exact action that's in question into somebody else's body. And be honest with me, do you genuinely feel the exact same way? Most of the time it's a no. Out of all the influencers we have to pick and choose from nowadays, David Dobrick is 100% not the worst, not even close. But he handled the situation so poorly that it's making him that much more dislikable. He thought if he stayed completely still that nobody can see him. But to be honest, I think this just made him a lot more visible to everybody else. So it's a quick switch up of energy right now. We're happy. We're happy. This isn't a sad video. But anyways, if you liked the video, make sure you like the video. If you didn't like the video, I will be having one of my friends defend me in a video that's completely separate than this one because I'm too scared to face the consequences of my own actions. I'd like to thank you guys for watching and have a good day.